Welcome to the USA, where everyone needs a gimmick. Hannah Baker killed herself, and there are 13 reasons why she did it. Stick around for your tape. The good. Color. The show has to tell a story that intertwines through past and present with the use of flashback. Knowing this, they chose to use color to show the difference between present and past. This warm orange glow for when Hannah was around, and then this abysmal gray color for when she's gone and everyone is feeling the effects of her demise. Development. Imperfection is perfect. Each character is shown in both light and dark. We all have good things about us and flaws as well. The main character has flaws as well as the rest, and on the flip side, everyone has good qualities as well. I just reiterated the same point, but you know what I mean. It starts off as black and white, and ends with a multitude of colors like alabaster and russet. Mystery. How do you make a mystery out of a teen drama where the victim was revealed in episode 1 and how they died as well? All you have to do is ask why and have 13 reasons to go with the answer. From the first episode to the 13th, each episode is laced with questions that you need answered soon. Whether it be why Clay is on the tapes or who the hell is Tony. It has you hooked and drags you along like you're the victim of some Hellraiser Pinhead torture trap. The bad. Glorification of Suicide. And now my number one fault with this show is one of the reasons I hate Tumblr. Yes, this show glorifies suicide. Hard. From the first moment of the show, it is there. Right there. Hannah is dead. She killed herself. And making it this big mystery of who did what, and everyone focusing on this one death for too long, is glorifying what she did. It wasn't portrayed as beautiful like people say. It was quite the opposite. I got really fucking pale and almost vomited. It made me sick. But Hannah was treated as this angelic figure based high above the normal folk. She was treated as if she knew better than everyone, that she herself wasn't a dumb teenage high schooler. That was her character, and in the show other characters also mentioned that she tried to make everything about her. Hannah didn't feel this way, but that was most likely because most people can't think of themselves as too flawed. They show Hannah as this very smart, all-knowing person with this master plan when she really didn't have one. She came up with a permanent solution for a very temporary problem. She did that and others suffered. Others suffered a lot. Now that's not the writers, that's just the story. But the showrunners are the ones that made it seem like Hannah's suicide was some huge event that banished all these bad boys and girls to the netherworld. It didn't. It ruined lives, and I severely hope that anyone thinking about doing this doesn't watch the show and get this message. Because no matter who you are and what you think, it's not worth it. Things will get better. Time heals all wounds, and you will find happiness soon. Hang in there long enough and keep pushing. Eventually, you'll break through. I had a note about the main character, but I wrote under it, don't know what to write for the bad, so I'm just gonna... I don't know, Clay was an alright character. He wasn't too bad and he wasn't too good. He had flaws just like everyone else. It didn't show too much, but he did seem like a goody good, if that seemed to be the only problem for me at least. Hannah, on the other end, which I will count as a main character, is worse than Clay. She doesn't act like a real person, and what I mean by this is that she is so contrarian to herself. She is smart and clever while talking and very down to earth, but is supposedly in this deep depression, which you could argue that that's the point. You can't tell who is suicidal or depressed, which I will argue that myself. But even when she's making the tapes, her voice is so unwavering and smart-assed without a hint of cold feet on the event or anything else. It doesn't seem right to me. Not once did she try to fix her situation. Not once did she try to reach out for somebody and explain to them what's going on. Not once did she try to help herself. Instead, she sat there and blamed everyone else for problems in her life, which a lot of them did cause those problems, but it's up to you to try and help yourself when you know you're in that problem. You need to reach out for people. And she says this. She says this in the show, that she has that flaw, that she didn't try to reach out for anybody. And maybe that makes her a good character, that she admits she has that flaw and that she has that flaw, or maybe it makes it a bad character. It really depends on your point of view on the subject. Best character. There are a lot of great characters in this show. Each one is gone through, each one is touched upon to talk about. They all have flaws. They all have perks. That's what makes them human. Justin, Zach, Alex, Jessica, Jeff, they are all great characters, but it's gotta go to Tony. He was like a guardian angel on Clay's shoulders throughout the series. He was like Clarence from It's a Wonderful Life, which is honestly ironic. He was a voice of wisdom for Clay in his most desperate times. The address. First thing we witness in the show is something different, and for some of you, you might think less of this, but to me, it's genius. Aesthetically, at least. The intro isn't bombarded with notes that would get stuck in our head. It isn't happy or sad, and the visuals are interesting to say the least, with symbolism for the show spread all throughout it, at least for the 24 seconds that it's on the screen. So I don't know why I made this such a valid point. Possibly because a lot of what I'm about to talk about is the fact that people are finding it hard to watch and enjoy with the taboo status that is suicide and rape, and so many other things. We all know what bullying is, but we find it to be a normal part of our lives, and this show and a lot of others don't want that to be a normal thing. So they focus on it, like someone shoving a dog's face in its own mess. This show is forcing us to see what we don't want to acknowledge. Again, I'm making it sound so profound and important, but the only reason I'm coming off like that is because of all the flack that people have been giving this show, specifically because it refuses to hold back.
Very uncomfortable topic to talk about, and I'm so grateful that I'm on this show where they are telling the truth and they're not cutting corners or trying to sugarcoat it.
It doesn't care if you're offended or triggered. They don't want this to happen, and they want you to be aware. Not only that, but with storytelling in general, anything goes. If you want to tell a story about how a duck raped a pelican and then killed themselves from guilt, go ahead, that's fine. Just because rape and suicide is hard to hear or think about doesn't mean that they aren't tools for storytelling. Life is life. Everything happens, and that means we talk about it no matter who is uncomfortable with it. If it really happens in the world, it should be explored and talked about. Who cares if people get angry that you had the gall to talk about it? They need to wake up to this epidemic. Not just suicide, but slut-shaming, and how flawed the system is. Not just school in general, which believe me, that's a whole different topic and a video in general, but our societal view on everything. It wasn't too long ago that we were sleeping in tents and rubbing two sticks together for warmth, so let's not pretend that we know that this is the way to live, or this is a perfect society. Life evolves, and we are no different. This entire society can be ended with a push of a button, so let's not act all high and mighty about who we are and where we come from. Damn, that went some different places than I expected. Anyway, I may get slaughtered for saying this from both sides of the fence, but there is this balance that the show is trying to achieve. It's trying to show how females feel, or how they are made to feel. That they have to walk this tightrope of sexy or slutty, and if they trip up, they're either a prude or a whore. Do I think this is a case for every female? Of course not, but there will always be those who feel that way, and that's the whole point. But on the flip side of the show, I feel it accidentally demonizes men. It doesn't show any of the problems men go through. And I'm not saying that it should. Maybe this is a show that specifically shows the strifes that females go through. But throughout the episodes, it shows that men are ruining females' lives, and I don't think that's the case every single time. The reason I say accidentally is because if they were trying, they were going to try harder than that. And maybe I'm just salty. Maybe I'm just a salty guy who doesn't want everyone to think that guys are going to sit there and look at them and try to have sex with them if they didn't want them to. I just want it to be fair. Hello.
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, guy?
What's up?
Did you call earlier?
Yeah, I did. Did you just wake up?
Yeah, a little bit ago.
Eddie and I wanted to go see Baby Driver with you earlier, but you were asleep.
Yo, right now we can go.
Yeah, right now you can go. I have to go to work.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you had work, too.
But we're seeing it later tonight, so...
Like, how late?
I don't know. I'll talk to Eddie. If he wants to see it later, then maybe we can wait for you, but I don't know.
Maybe.
What?
You're not even gonna for sure wait for me?
No, I'm not gonna for sure wait for you. You didn't wake up this fucking morning.
I didn't know I had to wake up early. I thought we'd go at like 3. Like, I forgot you had work, which I get is a mistake considering.
But you didn't answer the 6 times we called, which is one of the reasons.
When did you call 6 times? You called once.
What about Eddie? He called 4 times.
Hold on, let me check. That 1, 2. I got 2.
He told me
Also,
4.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I don't think my ringer was on this morning.
Well, it's your fault, dude. We wanted to see it early today, and you were like, nah, we already waited for you.
What did she want? What do I get Ariel for her birthday? What did you get her?
Get her a hat.
Yeah, but that's so dumb. Like,
Still, I gotta go, but give her a hat.
what are you gonna get Ariel? What should I get?
I said get her a hat.
A hat.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't know. She likes hats.
Okay. I get it. You don't want to help me. I get it.
I don't want to. Dill, shut the fuck up. I gotta go.
After all the gift shit we've been through.
Dill, I told you, get her a hat. What do you mean?
A hat, David. That's retarded. Like, just get someone a hat. Like, just fucking get them a hat. That's what you sound like. Fucking get the 8-year-old a hat.
She's been asking for a hat for a year now.
I don't think she's been asking for a hat like that.
She has. Dylan, you don't. Fine, I'll get her the hat. You get her a pin.
Mom. I'm trying to claim that for a year now, Ariel's been asking for a hat. What kind of hat? She didn't mean a gimmick hat.
She said she wanted a gimmick hat.
Those aren't worth the cotton they're printed on.
Dylan, I gotta go.
Okay.
Alright, bye. Damn. Where was I going with that? I don't know. Skipping over now. Okay, so maybe I'm miscommunicating what my whole point on the subject is. If you don't like the subject matter of a certain form of media, do not say that it's a bad form of media simply because you do not like what happens in it. There are so many people that I've talked to about the show who have completely just straight up, oh yeah, that's bad. But they have not seen the show at all. They haven't watched anything, they haven't heard anything except that, oh, she commits suicide, oh, they show it, oh, rape, oh, this, oh, that, oh, patriarchy. Just that stuff makes me so angry. The only time you have the right to say something is good or bad is if you've experienced it and you've seen it. Do not go spouting your mouth to people that it is a bad show simply because it portrays something that you do not want to see. In that same form, that's exactly how people who are homophobic or racist see the world. Oh, black people are bad. They haven't had a conversation with every black person. They haven't seen every black person. They haven't talked to every person because they don't like that they're black or because they don't like that they're gay. They're like, oh, automatically, they're bad. Automatically. I hate that so much. Do not say something is bad only because it makes you uncomfortable. Or only because you don't like what it shows in the show. People have spent so many hours of their life dedicated to making this show a reality. Dedicated to making this moral happen. Dedicated to the cinematography, the story arcs, the color, the makeup, the costumes, and so on and so on. Do not throw that all down the drain just because you want to keep your moral superiority. Actually watch it, or listen to it, or look at it, or yada 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 before you make your own opinion form. 13 Reasons Why takes its time building characters and story while at the same time tackling a very sensitive issue without any remorse or regret. It's not afraid to show its audience the harsh realities of what life can be, even when it seems just fine. As beautifully put together as it is controversial, it respects and understands what it is, and it's fine with playing both the hero and the villain. After the good, the bad, and the address, 13 Reasons Why gets 2 stripes. Clear your schedules, gentlemen.
Haunted by the ghost of you. Take me back to the night we met.
She was treated as shit. Why are you on my papers, cat? Get the fuck off. Not the time. Wrong review. You're out of here. Fired. Hey, if you're still listening, whoever you are, you have people who are looking out for you and want you to stay in their lives. And I'm one of them. So don't sweat the small stuff. When life gets hectic, you just gotta roll with the punches. Because there is a lot of bad in the world, but there's always going to be good. And the bad will always be worth it to get to that good. And you are worth it too. Ooh, wacky gimmick! Woo!